Hello, everybody. This is Randy, and today I want to talk to you about telling stories. You know, in the network marketing business, I have found over the years that you can try to sell people a product that you have, and not that there's anything wrong with selling, because listen, folks, we all sell all the time. However, the minute that you try to sell people something, that's the very moment when their sales resistance wall goes up. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to listen to you. They don't want to hear anything because they don't want to be sold. I mean, think about it yourself. When you go into a store and the one of the clerks comes up to you, or a salesman in a car lot, if you're just going in to look at some. In fact, you may even be going in to actually buy a car. But a salesman will walk up to you and he says, "Can I help you?" What's your first response? "No, I'm just looking." Of course, why do we say that? Well, the reason we say that is because we don't want to be sold. We want to buy, we love buying, but we don't want to be sold. So I have found over the years, and I spent 26 years, I don't remember exactly how many years it was, in the insurance industry. And I learned that the best way to sell insurance was not to go in and make some type of a presentation that was actually like I was selling them something. I mean, even though I did end up doing that. When I would sit down with people, I would talk to them and I would ask them what kind of things they were dealing with, that they would, as far as final expenses or saving money or whatever. What was one of the hardest things that they were dealing with on a daily basis? And then I would say, well, look, I'd like to tell you a little story about how that can be fixed. And then I would go ahead and tell them a story about how my policy, or how one of the programs I have, would help them actually fix the problem that they were having. And I've also found that in network marketing, when I visit with people, the same thing works so much better than trying to sell somebody something. Now, you can ask particular questions that will get people to ask you questions back, and then you can talk to them in the form of a story. As a matter of fact, oftentimes when I'm talking to people, I'll say something like, "Hey, I've got a good story I want to tell you." And they'll say, well, yeah, go ahead, tell me, because everybody wants to hear a story. Now, what is the story that I tell? It depends upon the situation. It depends upon who I'm talking to. It depends upon what product I'm marketing. As most of you know, I market one of our products at Basic Reset called Vibrant. It's a product that I focus on. It doesn't mean I don't use the other products. It doesn't mean that I don't ever talk about the other products. But I don't present people with the other products in most cases when I'm first talking to them. I talk to them about Vibrant, and the reason I do is because this is a product that has a good story behind it. This is a product that does their body good. This is a product that literally will help them. In addition to giving them energy and helping them feel better, it literally gives nutrients to their body that their body needs. Now, if in the course of talking to them, they start telling me about other things, like maybe not being able to sleep well at night, well, then I suggest that what they do is try our melatonin product. It'll help them sleep better at night. And I'll talk to them about that. But initially, most of the time, I'm telling a story about Vibrant and how Vibrant works for people. And how when people take the Vibrant, when they drink it, the first day that they drink it, they like it. The second day that they drink it, they find out that they really love it. And the third day that they're drinking it, they feel so good that they start to tell their friends and neighbors about it. And did you know that everybody that you talk to, literally everybody that you talk to, wants, needs, and desires to have this Vibrant energy drink? Now, I know you're thinking to yourself, well, what do you mean wants, needs, and desires, Randy? What do you mean by that? Well, look, wouldn't you agree with me that everybody wants to be absolutely have as full of energy as they possibly can be? Wouldn't you agree with me that that's true? And wouldn't you agree with me that during the normal person's day, they need to be alert in order to be able to do their job? No matter what they do, wouldn't you agree that they need to be alert? And then wouldn't you agree with me that they would desire to have something that would make them feel that way, that's very easy to take, that helps their body, and that they actually feel better, and when it's all done, they don't have a big crash? They want to feel better, they need to feel better, and they desire to feel better. And we have the product that fills that need. Now, people don't know we have that product until we start talking to them, until we start telling them the story. Now, stories, by the way, can vary from person to person. Maybe your story is that you were tired all the time. I mean, you would get up in the morning, you'd have your coffee, you'd get to work. When you got into work, you'd be doing your job at about 10 o'clock, 10:30 in the morning if there wasn't a coffee break. I mean, you were getting the sleepies, and then you'd go have lunch, and you know how that is. After you eat lunch, about an hour after you eat lunch, you start to get really tired feeling or sleepy, and so you got to have something to make yourself feel better, to stay awake, so you can do your job, especially if you're the kind of a person that sits in an office all day long. Or let's say you're a truck driver, or a taxi cab driver, or a train driver, or an airplane pilot. You've got to have something so that you stay alert. No matter what it is you're doing, you've got to have something so you can stay alert. Well, wouldn't you agree with me that it would be far better to drink something that tastes good, that gives you the energy, that helps you stay alert, that doesn't have a crash when it's done, and it literally gives your body nutrients that you need, helps get oxygen-rich nutrients all the way through to every capillary in your body, and does it in such a way that it becomes enjoyable to you? Well, I think that if somebody heard that story from you, they would say, gee, what is it? And then wouldn't you agree that if you had a sample to give them that they could mix up and drink right away, that they would absolutely want to have more? And wouldn't you agree with me that most people, given the opportunity, would say, I'd love to buy some of that? And also, wouldn't you agree with me that most people, given the opportunity, would like to be able to have a business on the side where they could share something like this with people? Where they could have other people feel better, have more energy, actually look better from taking the product, and be able to make an income from it? Now, what would happen if I told you that you could have all of that and you could receive a commission for it and it would be paid to you in real time as it happens? And what if I told you that all you had to do was drink it, because your own story will happen, and until you get your story, you can tell mine? Now, wouldn't you agree that this is probably one of the most powerful products to ever hit the market? Now, if you have doubts, by the way, this is a $25 to a $30 billion business, the energy drink business. And if you can tap into that business with a drink that's healthy, but does all of the things that the unhealthy ones do, without having the side effects or the benefits of the unhealthy ones, wouldn't you agree that that would be a wonderful thing for you to be involved in? Well, if you like that story, then I have another story I want to tell you. And it's the story about a fella that got involved. A friend of his sent him one of these samples, and he tried it. And he felt good. And he thought, boy, I'm just going to drink this stuff for myself, just so I feel better every day, because I'm busy doing this other business. And he continued to drink it, and continued to drink it, and continued to drink it. And then all of a sudden, a fellow that he knew came to his house one day, actually to pick up an article for this other business. And in the process of doing that, he saw this canister of this stuff, and he come carrying it into the other room where the two fellows were sitting. where they were going to be sitting and visiting. And he said, "What is this stuff?" And the guy told him. He said, "It's an energy drink that I'm drinking." Well, the other fellow looked at it and he said, "Gee, looking at the label, I can't see what would be in here that would give anybody any energy." So he said, "Does it really work?" And the guy said, "Yeah." He said, "I drink it every day." Well, then the fellow asked, "Well, do you suppose I could have one of them? Could you make me one?" "Well, sure," the guy said. I'll go ahead and make you one." So he made one for his friend, and his friend drank it. And as they sat there and visited, you could see the friend says, "Wow, I can't believe how good I feel. I can't believe how good I feel. This stuff is amazing." But he says, "I have another question." And the guy says, well, what question do you have?" And his friend said, "How come you haven't told me about this?" And the bells and lights went off in the guy's head, and he says, "My God, how come I haven't? This stuff works so good, it's so powerful, that all you got to do is give somebody one drink and they're saying, how come I don't have this in my life?" So he started sharing it, and pretty soon checks started coming in the mail. Pretty soon income started happening in real time. Pretty soon he was seeing that money started to come in, and so he started to share it with more people. And he did that, and it wasn't long, and he had 400 or 500 people in his organization, and he had personally shared this with about 600 people in about 45 or 60 days, and these people all came into the business. And then the next thing you know, his business was hit 4,000 or 5,000 people, and then it had 10,000 people, and then it hit 20 and 30 and 40, and it finally got up to around 84,000 people in his organization buying this drink that he wasn't going to share with anybody. And he made tens of thousands of dollars in a month. Now, the question I have to ask you is this. Wouldn't you agree that that would be a wonderful thing to be able to do, to drink something that feels so good that you tell your friends that they want to get in, and pretty soon you start making money, and that's all you have to do? You don't have to learn how it works. You don't have to learn what the ingredients are. All you got to learn is how to share this with people. Well, in this recording, you just learned how. The story I told you at the end was my story. I was the guy that received the sample. I was the guy that was drinking it and wasn't going to tell anybody. And my friend came over and he tried it. And then he asked me why I hadn't shared it with him. And I was the guy that ended up with 84,000 people, or just about 84,000 people in my organization. I was the guy that made all kinds of money with that, and went on to make all kinds of money, continuing to make money on it for years. And now I have in my hands, as you can have in your hands, one of the most powerful, most wonderful, most fabulous tasting, most amazing energy drink that brings health to you and can bring wealth to you. And all you got to do is share this with people. It's that astounding. Now, all you've got to do is share this with somebody else. You know, you have this in your hands if you're a distributor with our company already. If you're not a distributor with our company and you're listening to this recording, you need to get back to the individual that gave you this recording and say, look, I want some of that stuff. I need that stuff. Give me a sample of it so I can try it, and let me get started. And by the way, when you get started with it, it's really a cool deal, because right now it happens to be on sale. You can buy a 30-day supply for $22 roughly, $23. So the smart thing to do is to buy 60 days worth. That gives you 30 to drink and 30 to hand out to your friends. Minimum of 60 days worth. Right now you have an opportunity in front of you to make a fortune. Get back to that person that gave you this recording. In fact, when he gave you the recording, if he was with you when he gave it to you, you should have already tried the drink. If you haven't tried it, get him to send you one. Get him to send you a couple. And then get back to him. If I gave this to you, I know you've already tried the drink, unless I sent it to you. Get back to me right away, because I can show you how. If you've got room on your credit card for $50 to $60, I can get you started in business today. I'll be looking forward to hearing from you. And just remember this, that wherever you go, there you are. Always make the most of it, because nobody's going to do it for you. Talk to you later.